I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Today was not the best of days for me. I woke up around 7, close to 7:30, and the first thing I did was, well, one of the first things I did was pick up my phone. Then I spent a good hour and a half just scrolling and consuming content. After that, I got up, I took a shower, made some food, and after I ate, while I was eating as well, I was just consuming content on my laptop. And after I ate, it was back to more consumption. And this kind of lasted until around 3 p.m. So basically, from the morning till around 3 p.m., my day was kind of gone. Yeah. And this is all from the doing of my own hands. I'm not here to put excuses or to just blame it on external factors. I wasted my own day, my own hands. But I want to share with you some lessons I learned throughout this day and how I was able to kind of shift that towards the end. Right now, it's around 5:30 p.m. and my day actually has been, these past 2 hours have been rather good. So around 3 p.m., I was like, let me try and get to the bottom of this. I didn't yell at myself. I didn't, you know, do the typical things that I would usually do or say the typical things that I say to myself after falling into a series of bad habits. I didn't shame myself. I wasn't, of course I was angry. I was like frustrated that I had wasted time. But I wasn't like expressing my anger towards myself in my head. I wasn't talking down on myself. I was like, you know what, bro? Let me just get to the bottom of this. So I picked up my journal and I started writing, about how my day went and how I was feeling specifically. And to me, at least what I was able to get through this 30 to 40-minute journaling session was that I was trying to escape the work, which is very typical, right? But I was feeling the only reason that I was able to think about as to why I consumed first thing in the morning was that I just felt resistance, or I felt in a way overwhelmed by what I had to do or by the list of tasks I had set myself. And then as you know, then after figuring out what feeling I was trying to, like what I was feeling in the moment, I tried to dive deeper in the feeling itself. All right, let's journal more about resistance and what it actually is and when it shows up. And, this isn't very hard to figure out, or this is actually very commonly said, but resistance or discomfort usually arises in situations that are challenging, either because they're new or because they require a certain amount of effort that we are not used to putting, or simply because things just suck. And I was like, you know what? Resistance shows up in these situations. However, it is necessary for me to embrace and acknowledge and accept that resistance as part of the process for me to get what I need to get done. Like for me to like finish what I have to do. So I was like, okay, step number one, figure out how I was feeling in the moment. So I was feeling resistance. I was feeling overwhelmed by the work I had to do. So I turned to my phone to like numb that down or to escape. Fine. Step number two, what did resistance do for me? Or like where does resistance show up? We figured that out. Step three, I guess, is to just like what I wrote in my journal. I don't have it on top of my head right now, but it's like, okay, now that you know how you felt in the moment and what resistance is, the third step is that whenever this feeling arises again, acknowledge that this is what you need to feel in that moment in order to get to the next level, in order for me to grow, to get to the next version of myself. I need that resistance. I need to push through that resistance by just embracing it and going through it. And I guess the more you push through resistance, the easier it gets to push through discomfort again. But at least that's what I got down in terms of journaling. And then some practical steps I gave myself for next time this feeling comes up is the first one is to pause and just take a deep breath and understand that resistance is part of the process. Next time I feel like a urge to, I don't know, scroll or escape the work, just pause. Next thing, understand and just embrace that feeling. And number three is to just take a small step towards the action that I want to do or that I'm avoiding. For example, if you're facing resistance to going to the gym, all right, just pause, take a deep breath, tell yourself, you know what, this is normal. This is something either new to me or this is something that's causing me a little bit of discomfort. However, I will grow through that. After pushing through it, I will grow and I will become one step closer to becoming a better version of myself. And then go pack your gym bag or put on your gym clothes, something that will start the momentum for that action. And one thing I did before I like reset my day, I mean, I don't think you have to do this, but in my situation, it helped me today to just snap back into it. I took like a 10-second cold shower, but the water, at least for me, it was so cold. Like my hand, my fingers were getting numb. Anyways, it was really cold, but I just went underwater for like 10 seconds and I went back out. But of course, it took me like 5 minutes to get in the bath. I had to like talk to the water and like form an emotional connection with the water, uh, so that I can actually ease myself into the shower. Uh, talking to myself and like just jumping up and down in the shower to like kind of hype myself up. I stood there for like 10 seconds and I just went out. I guess that kind of shocked my body and like, of course, I know that cold showers help with your dopamine. So it kind of just reset things. I was more like, I would say I felt more, stable and more like ready to work. But you don't have to take a cold shower. You can maybe do some push ups or go on a walk, whatever is more accessible for you in order to like snap into it. But I just did a cold shower and I also want to make these a part of my routine. So I figured, why not just do it now? And I guess I've been working for the past 40, 50 minutes. I have a test coming in a few days. So I'm just studying for that. But these are just thoughts that I wanted to share with you about how I had like a quote unquote bad day because I, went back to my habits or did some bad habits and how I was able to recover that. And I guess my plan for the next few hours is, well, it's close to the evening, so I'm going to sleep in like around 5 hours. But until then, I plan on studying a little more, getting at least one more section done. I want to go downstairs to my building gym and just get some steps in, and then just take a shower, probably have a meal or something, and then wind down. Nothing too crazy, but I feel like even though the day is not over yet, I feel like I was able to recover it with what I shared with you. So I hope this helps you navigate bad days, whether you're going through one or maybe just as an insight for the future. Yeah, I hope you benefited. If you did, I'll ask you to subscribe and to share your thoughts in the comments. I do read the comments and I really enjoy receiving feedback, whether it's something you want me to talk about or just in general what you thought about this video. Anyways, it's been me. Take care. Peace.